Welcome into the DML Network. I'm your host, Expert, and with me I got the commish, Nasty Noob, and my homie, H-Speed. What's going on, guys?
Not too much, man. I'm ready to go.
What's good? I'm ready to get my grind on.
All right, guys. Like they said, this is the grind on the DML Network. We're going to spotlight two teams in the NFL draft. We're going to start with the Cleveland Browns. We're going to finish up with the Chicago Bears. We're going to go through, kind of dissect their draft. How does that translate to the NFL season next year? Plus, what kind of effect is that going to have in Madden 18? Because you know it's all about the sticks for us when we talk about these draft picks. So let's start off with the number one pick in the entire draft, the Cleveland Browns. I don't think this was a surprise to anybody. Every one of us on the show picked this guy to go first, was Myles Garrett, the edge rusher out of Texas A&M. If you ask me, this is an easy no-brainer pick for the Browns. I expected them to pick him months ago. He is a difference maker, and you are going to team him up with Jamie Collins, and the Browns are going to start building a nasty defense. Andre, I know you like this guy here.
Yeah, I like him. I don't love him. Myles Garrett definitely has the physical talents to translate into the NFL, but it's one of those things where I need to see it. And on top of that, he's going to the Browns, and a lot of talented players get lost going to the Browns. But having said that, he does join Jamie Collins, Big Danny Shelton as a defensive tackle, and Emmanuel Ogbah. So they got a nice little young core of pass rush.
Yeah, they're going to be dirty up front. And, of course, we know the commish knows all about that dirtiness on the defensive line. Man, does this pick make you even think about selecting the Browns when Madden 18 comes out?
I wouldn't be mad if I didn't get to stay home in Atlanta and I was forced to go to the Cleveland Browns because I'm all about that front forward pressure. Now, I might have to change some things up and go to a 3-4. I'm not exactly sure what the Cleveland Browns run. But I wouldn't be mad, man, because they added a lot of nice pieces in the 2017 draft. So, it wouldn't be as hard to build a team as it was in past versions of the game.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of users in the Dynasty that are kind of looking at the Browns, trying to put some of those pieces on the field and think, what can I do with this team? Now, does that translate to the real-life Browns going 10-6? And battling for a playoff spot? I don't know if they're quite there yet, Andre. I think they're still they drafted a quarterback, but I still don't think they have their quarterback of the future on that football team. And I still think they're lacking some offensive weapons. But I think this definitely lets them make some noise in that AFC, though.
Absolutely. I actually really, really, really like the Browns draft this year. I think between the Browns and the 49ers, I think those are 1 and 1A as far as what they did with their picks. What I really liked about the Browns draft is that they didn't force a quarterback. They didn't force getting a Trubisky or getting a Watson. What they ended up doing was just getting talented guys in. They traded back when they had the chance to get Watson. They picked up another pick and a next year first. So that helps them to continue to build because they know that they ain't going to be, like you said, 10-6 or 11-5 this year. And so they need more pieces and more bodies. So I really like what they did in this draft.
No doubt. I think trading back up, just was a smart decision. And let's go to the next guy, which – man, was so disappointed when I saw this guy come off the board at 25. I wanted him to slip all the way to my Cowboys. Would have loved to play with this guy in Madden 18. But let's talk about Jabril Peppers, the safety / corner / running back. I mean, I think this guy is going to do everything for the Browns. But the kid coming out of Michigan, just a hybrid player. And now you team him up with Myles Garrett. Pressure on the front end. You got an athlete on the back end that can just run around anywhere he wants to go with that speed. I love this pick for the Browns. Dion, what'd you think about this guy at 25?
I thought at 25 it was a good pick. But once I start looking at his size, man, and seeing the division that they're in, and thinking that this guy's going to have to come down in the box and take on a Le'Veon Bell 2 times a season, I started kind of having second thoughts about this guy, man, to be honest with you. Plus, you're looking at a Ravens team also that likes to run the ball and at some point is going to get a big bruiser in that backfield. Is he going to be able to hold up? Is he going to be able to be that guy that's going to be able to come down in the box and help stop that run? That's my only concern with him at this point.
Yeah, that's a good question. Andre, what'd you think about Peppers going here at 25?
Disruptive. Peppers was disruptive at Michigan. He played in a major conference, and the guy was a Heisman candidate, and he don't have a position. This guy is disruptive. I mean, that's what I can really describe him as. I'm really interested in seeing where and how the Browns decide to use him. Are they going to use him on offense? Are they going to use him like Jim Harbaugh did with him in Michigan? But I did have some reservations because they traded their 12th overall pick, and there was some great talent available at 12. You could have got a Malik Hooker, which I believe would have been a better safety for them. You could have got Jonathan Allen. You could have added O.J. Howard. I thought there was a lot of talent that you could have picked up, right there at 12. So we'll see. We're going to see how exactly Jabril Peppers works out for the Browns.
Right.
I'm hearing he's going to be in the box as a strong safety, so we'll see.
Yeah, and I think they traded that pick back so they could actually trade back up to pick 29. And you mentioned O.J. Howard. They needed a tight end. They are looking for that 1-2 punch. Now, they had Gary Barnidge on the roster. They were looking for that 1-2 punch, but then they drafted a kid out of Miami, David Njoku. And they actually, was funny, I saw the tweet like after they drafted him where Gary Barnidge kind of welcomed him to the squad, and then the Browns called Gary Barnidge and said, go ahead and pack your stuff, partner. We're good at tight end here on out. You can find somewhere else to work. So it looks like Njoku is going to be their starting tight end, and this kid is a monster right here. I really like this pick. Now, I don't like him so much if Cody Kessler or Brock Osweiler is throwing him the football, but if their quarterback that they picked in round 2 can be anything like he was at Notre Dame, I like this kid from Miami. Big, physical tight end, and can run the football. Andre, what'd you think about this tight end here?
David Njoku from Miami. Look, this guy's from the U. He's fast, and he's a physical presence. I think he's only 20 years old. So
yeah, he's young.
He's 20. So like you can develop him, and that's going to be the whole key. Now that the draft is over, it's on the coaches, it's on the trainers, it's on everybody in the Browns organization to develop the talent, not just hold talent hostage. For many years, the Browns, yes, dog pound, I'm talking to you, Cleveland has held talent hostage. So I'm begging and I'm hoping that Hugh Jackson and his staff can release the talent, and we can translate that into some wins for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, for me, being a fan of the U since the 80s, I'm happy to see a kid from the university go in the first round. I'm disappointed that he's going to the Browns because that's where careers go to die. You can go back to Kelvin Winslow, even though much of that was his own fault for riding motorcycles in the offseason. So you have to look at it this way, man. If they use him correctly, he has a lot of speed. His route running is not that great yet because I went to a game when he came to Atlanta to play Georgia Tech. Route running still needs a lot of work, but once he gets that up, I think he'll be up there with the other ones, man, with the other great tight ends out of the U, man.
Man, that's a long list of tight ends, man. If he can be anything like a Jeremy Shockey was, man, what a career this kid could have. Now, we know Cleveland loves to take careers and fold them up and throw them away as soon as you show up at the door, but we'll see what happens here. But I think here in this next round, in round 2, I think the Browns got who they think is their quarterback of the future. Now, I've seen guys go either way with Deshaun Kaiser from Notre Dame. Some people say He just doesn't have all the attributes to be a pocket passer in the NFL. But then I've seen people give this pick a grade A. I love this pick because, like Andre, like you said, they did not reach for a quarterback like some other teams did. They traded back, they waited, and they got a good pick 20 in the second round, 52 overall, and got DeShone Kizer. What did you think about this pick, Andre?
It was an absolute steal to me, and I'm gonna tell you why. The difference between Kizer and Trubisky and Watson, it wasn't that big of a margin. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I felt like if you gave Trubisky a B, you gave Watson a B plus maybe, and you would have gave Deshaun maybe a C plus. So by waiting, picking up more talent and waiting and still grabbing the guy that's what? He's 6'4", he's 230 pounds.
Yeah.
The guy got an arm. The guy can play. He can play, and he's not gonna have the pressure of a first round pick to play right away. He's in Cleveland. That's the only problem with the pick is that he's in Cleveland because, like we've already discussed, careers die in Cleveland, especially at the quarterback position. They have had the worst quarterbacks in the last 20 years. Go look it up. You can look up all the bums that lined up and went under center for the Browns. Bum after bum after bum.
Bunch of Jags playing quarterback, huh?
Absolutely.
Okay, Dion, so my question is, how does this guy relate to you picking the Browns in Madden 18? Is this the sexy pick that says, okay, I feel with the defense they picked, now they got a quarterback, maybe I can do some things with the Cleveland Browns if you don't get the Atlanta Falcons, maybe the Browns are there.
No, sir. This guy's a turnoff to me, to be honest with you, as far as picking the Cleveland Browns. Because I look at it this way, man. If your head coach tells you you're not ready for the NFL, and this is the guy that's been with you for, a couple years or whatever, if he's telling you this, then it must be true. Because we've heard this story before. What was the quarterback out of USC when the head coach for the Seattle Seahawks? Sanchez told him, hey, you're not ready to go to the NFL. You need to come back, and get a little bit more under your belt before you go to the NFL. But he went, and he's only remembered at this point for the butt fumble. That's it. His NFL career is pretty much over at this point. He's a glorified backup in the NFL. So for me, there's no way I would touch the Browns based off of this quarterback because I'll be trying to get rid of him as soon as the first draft was up and available.
Well, you're definitely good about swapping quarterbacks and picks, so I'm not even worried about that. But I would say this.
Sanchez made a lot of money, though.
Yeah.
No, he's still making money. Still making money.
That's the positive about it. He got paid.
He got to be doing something right. And look, as a Cowboy fan, he was on the Cowboys last year. Dak Prescott said Mark Sanchez played a bigger role in his development than anybody on that team because Mark Sanchez, he can see a lot. He's got good eyes as a quarterback. It's once you get below the neck, that's when the problems start to come for Mark Sanchez. Now, is DeShone Kizer going to be that guy where in his brain, what he sees, he can know what he's supposed to do, but then when it comes to translate, can he make the right throws, make the right decision? Maybe his footwork, maybe his arm just doesn't quite match up to what his brain is thinking. We'll see. I like the pick. Like Andre said, there is no pressure on this kid to be any good. First off, he's a Cleveland quarterback. So anything where you got positive touchdowns and interceptions is going to be a win. But all he's got to do is beat out Brock Osweiler and Cody Kessler. Shouldn't be that difficult. But let's move on to the round 3. The Cleveland Browns, they had the first pick in round 3, and they go defense again. They get Larry Ogunjobi from North Carolina. Listen, this guy is legit. Now, there are a lot of sexier picks out there they could have picked up in the first pick of round 3. But this guy can play inside, he can play outside. And you team him with Myles Garrett and Jamie Collins, this could be a threat in the defensive line. Dion, I know how much you love having an Incredible Hulk in the middle of that defense. I know how much you love that. This guy right here is a huge three technique for this defense. What do you think about this guy here?
I thought this was a good pick for him coming in the third round of the draft because, like I always say, man, pressure busts pipes. If you can get to the quarterback, especially in this division, you playing against Big Ben, who's like 150 years old at this point, who can't move like he used to. So if you coming up that middle, or you come from throughout the outside, to lock him down, then you're taking over that division as far as knocking off the Steelers. Even though you still have to go through the Bengals, who I think are going to be the top team in that division for the next couple of years.
I agree. They got some pieces there. Andre, what do you think about this big guy? How is he going to translate into Madden 18? Is this a guy that you think you can build that D line around?
Well, they got some pieces on the D line. And they got Greg Williams. You already know Bounty. He gonna put some bounties out.
No doubt.
Defensive coordinator. So it's some motherfuckers. Greg, get up out of there.
Yeah.
You got he's the defensive coordinator. So it's gonna be some. Yeah,
ask the Falcons about Bounty.
It's going to be dollars flying around the locker room for him to take out Big Ben and Flacco. Y'all ass better watch out. They I like the pick, though. I definitely like the pick, though, because, look, you got Big Danny Shelton. I loved him last year. Big Danny Shelton's a beast. I mean, he is a load. And then when you put this guy next to him, and then you got Myles Garrett on the outside with Agba, this is going to be nice. And the Cleveland Browns is very appealing for 18 for that reason, because they have a lot of young guys coming. If you get the team, you don't want an old veteran team where you're going to have to draft guys and bring guys in right away. You want a team that you can nurture and you can develop for 18.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Well, let me ask you a question, man. Since we're talking about the Browns right now, who's been pretty much the crap team of Madden for the last, 3 or 4 versions, who is the new crap team at this point?
Okay, So when you speak of that, let's move on to who I think is the crap team of Madden 18. We talked about the Browns, but let's switch over to the Chicago Bears. This right here, I'm glad Dion brought that up. This is my sleeper pick for the crap team of Madden 18. Now, the Chicago Bears had a horrible year last year, if I'm not mistaken. That's the reason you picking number 3. This is not like Dynasty where people just give you the 3rd pick when you win the Super Bowl. So this team had a horrible season. And they traded their number 3 pick to move up. Listen to this. 1 spot, Andre. One spot. They moved up 1 spot. And who did they pick? They picked the unproven. Guy's got 13 starts under his belt. Mitchell Trubisky from North Carolina. Now, I couldn't give this a G grade, a H grade. Unfortunately, F is as low as you can go. But this is an F pick for me. The Bears reached at number 2 for a quarterback, and they gave up 3 picks to get this guy. Andre, I know you didn't like this pick.
Got him. That's what happened. That's what they were saying in the 49ers front office. Got him. Got us one. Look,
yeah.
This is how it went. They was on the phone. This is how that call went. Hey, we're interested in moving up. Yeah, because the 49ers said, I think we're gonna take Trubisky. Everybody in the background was laughing. We're gonna take Trubisky. And the Bears said, okay, we'll give you 3 picks. And then it was just a terrible. They got him. You know what I mean? They got hit with the Cosby. The real life
Cosby, dude. No
for
doubt.
1 pick. I mean, it was. I cannot imagine. Why would you trade picks for this guy?
Okay,
Let's just say, for instance, that
the
49ers did take him. So what? Thank you. You could have got Deshaun Watson. You could have traded back.
Okay.
There's a million things.
No doubt. Andre, that's perfect. See, why are you not in a war room somewhere helping these teams out? I don't understand this. Okay, let's just say the 49ers were interested in Trubisky, and they take him at number 2. At that point, we're calling that a reach because I don't think he was a top 10 quarterback. But then, okay, so Trubisky is gone. Let's go get Deshaun Watson then. Let's trade back, get some more picks. Man, we could get Kaiser in the 2nd round. This right here made it more of a reach because they just signed Mike Glennon to pretty much a big contract, gave him a commitment to say, hey, man, well, you're going to be our quarterback for 2017. Nobody thought they're picking quarterback at number 3, especially when there was some stud defensive players, and the Bears' defense was horrendous last year. They needed help on that defensive side of the ball. Dion, what'd you think about this horrible pick here?
Man, I have to say this, man. If the Bears 2017 draft was a movie, it would be rated PG for pure garbage. They gave up so much for this guy who was unproven on the college level. He couldn't even beat out the quarterback that was in front of him until the guy just left, and that guy doesn't even have an NFL career anymore. So you couldn't even beat out this guy. But now you're pretty much going to be the face of the Bears franchise moving forward. And they gave up so much. And even in the pre-draft, the grind show, I thought they should have went defense, which I thought with John Fox, that's where he would want to go. But, watching and listening to the radio shows later on, John Fox didn't even know about this move up to get Trubisky. The GM did it behind his back. So that lets me know this might be John Fox last year in Chicago, because when the GM is stabbing you in the back like that, he's pretty much trying to get you out the door.
Man, that's rough when you're not even asking the head coach. What would Bill Parcells say? If you asking me to cook dinner, at least let me shop for the groceries, right?
Exactly.
Right. I mean, how do you not let your head coach be a part of that process? That's just crazy. But you know what, guys? It doesn't stop there. It does not stop there. They then go get a tight end from not even a D1 school out of Ashland College. I saw this guy's highlight film. He looks nice, but he's doing it against subpar teams. He's not playing, Michigan State. He's not playing Florida State. He's not going against heavy competition. And now you're going to put him in the NFC North, where the Packers, love to get after the quarterback. They big and physical. The Vikings defense is top 5, top 10 every single year. The Lions love flying around the ball. And you go get a guy that, he's going to be a role player. He's going to play on your special teams. But they picked Adam Shaheen from Ashland. Was not impressed with this pick either.
Where?
Andre?
Who? Where?
Yeah, exactly.
This is the typical just a guy. All right, so you could have got this dude as an undrafted free agent, to be honest with you, or a guy like him. It's guys right now. They're working out at their community college, named Adam Sheehan, whatever his name is. He's just a guy. It's a horrible pick. The only way that their draft and this year's draft will be considered a success is if Mitch Trubisky turns into a guy like Dak Prescott, or unless he turns into a guy like Russell Wilson. That's the only way this draft is going to work out for them. This is what they did. They put all their chips in the middle of the table, and they're starting handing something like 4-7 offsuit. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Terrible.
He is a big kid. This is a 6'6", 278-pound tight end. He's not a cupcake, but I don't know what it is about the Chicago Bears. It's like they purposely trying to be bad. I don't understand this. Dion, try to explain this pick to me with this Division II tight end.
This one I can't explain, man. Going this high for this guy. I've watched the highlights. He looks good playing against the competition that he's playing against. But when he steps on the NFL field, it's gonna be totally different competition. So it's gonna be interesting, man. I didn't like the pick. Not too many picks chosen by the Bears that I did like, but I surely didn't like this one. And if I was to take over this team in Madden 18, I'll probably be trying to get rid of him and the quarterback, man, to be honest with you. I think Trubisky is a big quarterback. They probably gonna give him a good power rating as far as throwing, but I just don't think his accuracy is gonna be that great, man, because there's really not a lot of film on him to give him a high rating. But I guess we'll see in a couple months.
All right, so I think the best pick the Browns made is in round 4. They go and get Eddie Jackson from Alabama. Now, just because he plays for Alabama doesn't make him good, but This guy actually has talent. Now, last year he broke his leg, which ended his career at Alabama. So it's another risky pick by the GM of the Browns, Ryan Pace. Just a horrible pick at number 2, a horrible pick in the second round. And then in round 4, they get Eddie Jackson. Now, if Jackson can be healthy and get on the field, this is a big-time safety for the Chicago Bears, where they need help. They have Quentin Demps on the roster to play free safety, and this guy can play strong safety. And then last year they drafted another safety in the 4th round. So Deion Bush, correct. They got some options at safety, but it's all going to hinge on, can Eddie Jackson come back and be healthy, come back from that broken leg. But of all their picks, to me, this was their best pick. What'd you think, Andre?
I think that they should ask for a restart and redraft. I think that would be the best option right now. Yeah, pull the plug. Let's get back to the future. Go back and let's try this again. But having said that, actually the 4th round was their best round. I think they got